Hello, and welcome to What's Past This podcast. My name's Steve.
I'm James.
I'm Damian.
And I'm Robert. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about our 2024 Christmas pantomime, Snow White, and also Doctor Who's Christmas special, and probably various other subjects.
As per usual.
As per usual, yeah.
And I'll go off topic on a tangent or two.
And if that's your thing and you're watching on YouTube, why not like, comment and subscribe?
And if you're listening to us on any of the platforms, please hit that follow button.
Well, gentlemen, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year, yeah. First episode of the new year.
I know you've done a panto. I've done one show since then, I think.
Okay.
So
Just
have you
the
done
one?
Just the one? Yeah, I'm not doing as much these days.
How many performances of that show did you do?
5, 4.
Any matinees?
Yeah, it was either 3 evenings and a matinee or 4 evenings and a matinee. I can't remember now, but it was Allo Allo.
Hello.
In this little theatre in Denbigh, of all places, called Theatre Tumul Nant.
Right.
And which I didn't even know about until fairly recently, but it's never been there either until like a few months ago. But it was.
Well, guess what, James? You
What's
have
that?
now.
I have now. Yeah. It's a really nice little theatre, actually. It's kind of like, if you can imagine, kind of like a bit like Theatre Colwyn, but like the size of the Ucheldre. Kind of, yeah, nice little theatre.
Like sort of modern theatre then?
No, it's quite old, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like in the middle of Denbigh. It's kind of a bit random, but it's, yeah, really nice.
What did you do in that show then, James?
So I was playing the piano, which I don't actually really play the piano, but it's a bit of a... It's a thing, I think, when, like, if you're a musician and people know that you're a musician, they assume you can play the piano because it's kind of like the generic instrument. Mm-hmm. So I got a message from the director, who I've done like a few shows with before, and he said, "Oh, we're doing Allo Allo in Denbigh. We need a pianist. Will you do it?" And I was like, "Well, I don't actually play the piano." And he was like, "I'm sure you'd be fine. We'll pay your we'll pay your travel expenses." And I was like,
That's nice.
"Go on then. Why not?" So, but it was.
Did you do that from Sheffield or from?
From Wales. I just had like a week. I took like a week off work to do it, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice to like to be kind of on holiday, but also doing something, and it was a good challenge as well because, as I say, don't play the piano. I've never played the piano, certainly not like on stage. So it was like a bit scary, but yeah, it was really nice, and we managed to actually find like an actual upright piano as well, because it was going to be like a keyboard, and that would have been a bit naff.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have like an actual proper
Yeah.
piano. And it was sold out. It was the first show I've done that was like a sold out run.
Oh, very good.
So
Very good.
yeah, it seemed to go down really well.
Did it get recorded at all?
I think so. Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah. But I got through it. There was one show where I kind of made a few mistakes, and one of the cast came up to me afterwards. I was like, "Are we having some? Was there something wrong with the piano tonight?" And I was like, "No, that was me. The piano's fine."
No, there was something wrong with me. Not the piano.
my incompetence, but obviously by the last show I got it down to a T.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, of course you did, James.
yeah.
I mean, as well, to be fair, like, if you hadn't played the piano before, and that was your first time on stage playing it, then, you know, like you got through all the shows, so I think you did pretty well under those circumstances.
Yeah, well, I've got one of my like musician friends here in Sheffield. She's a absolutely phenomenal musician, like way better than me. And I kind of set like the week before. I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this show next week, and I'm playing the piano, and I don't actually play the piano, so I'm a bit nervous for it. And she was like, oh, I'm doing a gig next week where I had to play keyboard, and I don't play keyboard either. And I was like, okay, but knowing how good you are, like how much do you not play the keyboard? And she was like, well, I know that C is the note between the 3 black keys and the 2 black keys. And I was like, okay, right, I'm slightly more advanced in my ability than you, but yeah, but yeah, it was fun. It seemed to go down really well. It's very silly, obviously.
Yeah.
Very of an era in terms of the comedy. Very
yes, that's true. Yeah, it's of an era.
So double entendres and silly accents and subtle xenophobia.
Yep.
Really weird being surrounded by people dressed as Nazis, I found.
I mean, yeah, I could understand how that would be weird.
It was kind of disconcerting. And I mean, there was one of the cast who I did a show with a couple of years ago. When I walked in, like for the dress rehearsal or whatever, he was in full SS uniform, and he greeted me with a Hitler salute.
God.
And it was it was bad because I nearly did it back just by like, the social pressure of like, responding to him. But it was just kind of slightly weird being sat around backstage and there's all these like people dressed as Hitler wandering around and stuff.
Yeah.
It was very silly, and there was also the slapstick backstage. There's all this stuff in the show about, oh, the sausage, where's the sausage? We can't find the sausage, and all this kind of stuff. And then the actual sausage got lost backstage somewhere, and so everyone was like looking for the sausage. It was very weird, very silly.
Yeah.
So did you or did you not take the opportunity to parody Jojo Rabbit going, the Heil Hitler thing?
Oh yeah, it was a bit like that.
Yeah.
I love that film. That's one of my favourite films, actually. Jojo Rabbit. It's brilliant film.
I've not actually seen that film.
No, I haven't watched it
It's
either.
quite a funny film, to be fair.
Okay. I'll have to look that one up.
For a Taika Waititi film, yeah.
Oh, what? Sorry? Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he would do a comedy one. Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's funny, but it also has some quite heavy, quite serious. But it's kind of quite. It's quite. I find it quite impactful in a way. I think there's something about things that are kind of comedies. It's like the contrast of when you do something really serious and earnest in comedy makes it that like the contrast makes it way more impactful. I think. It made a big impression on me actually. That when I saw it in the cinema, and then I watched it a couple of years later on DVD, and it was just as good as I remembered it being.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend it.
Look that up.
When was that made?
I want to say like 2018, 2019, something like that. It was just not long before COVID, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's round about accurate. And as usual, Steve is looking it up.
Always got his phone.
I just see Steve open his phone, and I'm like, I know what he's doing.
2019.
There we go.
That was close.
Yeah, it's also has some of the best child acting in film as well that I've seen. They managed to find like some really good young actors, to be in the lead roles. Yeah, yeah, great film. And that scene Damian's referencing is great.
But yeah, that scene that I referenced there. So did you have any of those moments in your production then?
It was that kind of thing. There's like the end of the stage version of Allo Allo. Not that I've actually seen the TV show. I meant to watch it, but also
Have you not?
Couldn't be asked. No, I've never seen it. I think it was one of those things that my parents would not like or approve of.
Oh, right.
So it's kind of the kind of thing that I just wouldn't. Not that I wouldn't be allowed to watch it, but it would just be like, come on. But the end of the stage show has this thing where it's like a classic farce where everything comes to a head, and like pretty much every character is dressed up as Hitler for plot reasons, and so it's kind of the scene just builds and builds with more and more characters coming in dressed as Hitler. So it's that kind of thing.
Kind of like an I'm Spartacus moment.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And the actual like Gestapo guy goes, "There are in this cafe many Hitlers." Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, you had to be there.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all very silly, but
I kind of find it strange to think about these types of films. Thinking like if like the World Wars, if they didn't happen, how would film TV look like now? I mean, maybe they'd just be about what happened instead, but I don't know. I like to think about things like that.
Documentary, how a world war almost happened.
Probably, yeah.
So I just find that interesting, like what ifs.
The world as a whole would look very different, I think, because
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like warfare changing, like bringing in new technology and stuff like that is a big thing as well, like the atom bomb.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I suppose probably the atom bomb would exist, but the exact, I don't know. And probably the Cold War would have happened either way, but
yeah, and maybe the atom bomb would have still existed, maybe at a later time, but like not actually used. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Second World War was such a pivotal event in world history. It's kind of difficult to even think of the implications of how the world would look without it, because it changed so much stuff and killed so many people as well. It killed more than any other war in history. So like just the people that will be alive.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. There's actually an interesting a documentary on Netflix about it. I think it's about six or seven episodes. And it goes like it starts from the beginning of the war and goes to the end, sort of gives you an overview of like the most important events, I guess. I find that really interesting. So if you wanted something else to watch, if you're interested in World War history, go check that out. I can't remember what exactly it's called, but it's about 6 episodes, so you'll know which one it is. Yeah. Now, have you guys seen the World War One film 1917? I'm not sure we talked about it before. I think that film's really good as well.
Yeah, I saw that in the cinema as well.
Oh, nice.
I think they came out the same year that Jojo Rabbit and 1917.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one either.
No? Oh, Steve. It's a really good film. So you've got quite a few things to watch there, then. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that film as well, and I think they did a really good job in showing how it was. Like it felt real,
Yeah, it's really immersive, isn't it? It just has that. it's like, because it's the not the premise, but the kind of conceit of it is that it's done in one continuous shot.
Yeah.
Which it isn't quite, but
it's not quite. No, when they go into like a dark place or something, that's when they use that opportunity to do like a scene change, a cut.
But I mean, there are long stretches that are done continuous. Yeah. But it's immersive. It's like, and it's incredibly tense as well, because you're following these two British soldiers as they're on this mission through no man's land. Yeah. And do they know that the Germans have retreated or something?
No,
I don't think they do.
They don't at the beginning. They think they're still there, but then they get to the German side and then obviously find out they've actually gone.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously, you sat there and you're going, well, it wouldn't be a particularly exciting film if they just don't encounter any Germans and they get to the other, So that at some point they're going to bump into some enemy troops, and so it's just this like constant tension that it's going to happen at some point. But you're just following these two blokes walking through this just absolutely destroyed landscape.
And I liked as well how they used at the time 2 unknown people in sort of the main roles and had known people do like smaller roles in the film. I like that because it helped the upcoming ones,
Yeah, and it's like usually when you have the big name actors in a film, if you're following 2 unknown actors in they're going on a little quest or something, you think they'll be the ones that will they'll die, kind of thing. Like in Star Trek or something, when you have the main cast and the 2 guys that you've never seen before, and you're like, obviously they're gonna be the first to die.
Red shirts.
Yeah.
Right, shall we get back onto topic now?
Yes. Yeah. So that was my excursion into the Second World War. Tell me about your panto.
Yes, we did Snow White in Ucheldre. We did 7 shows, although technically you could argue it was 8 because our dress rehearsal was hijacked.
Yeah, the dress rehearsal suddenly became an actual rehearsal, an actual show.
Yeah.
So,
what do you tell us about that?
Well, first off, we were told that it's only going to be the one person.
Yeah.
We were thinking that's great. Just let them know it's a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Suddenly, there's 30 people come in. We're thinking, okay, what the hell's going on here?
Yep.
So we're not going to have a dress rehearsal, then, are we? No, it's going to be a normal show, isn't it? Yeah. So the day before the supposed dress rehearsal, I get told there's 70 people turning up.
God.
Right.
And
who were these 70 people?
I don't know.
Was that the group of some with learning disabilities and stuff?
I mean,
there was some that night and some on Friday.
Some of them were there, but most of them were just people who come to our shows before, just suddenly decided they wanted to come at their convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So we're no longer doing that again.
No.
Because that really rattled us a bit. Was on track a bit.
And was that like a free thing, or did they still have to pay?
Yeah, they got cheaper tickets.
Cheaper ones.
Cheaper tickets for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheaper tickets at our expense, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be kind of awkward for you guys because, I mean, just going by on the on the group chat, like you hadn't had much rehearsals, like as a group, all of you there in one rehearsal. So that must have been a bit
pretty much correct.
A bit hard for you to do an actual show when you hadn't had that much time.
Yeah, but most of the rehearsals, like correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. There's always been someone not there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Various different reasons. I'm not going to ask. No. I'm not bothered. Whatever the reasons are, but for most rehearsals, we just didn't have certain people that we desperately needed to complete the scene.
Yeah. There was somebody reading in.
Yeah.
It's always really difficult when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why we needed that dress rehearsal, just so we can see what works and what doesn't.
Yep.
But oh well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Actually, just reminded me that when I did Allo Allo, the dress rehearsal for that had not a full audience by any means, but like a few invited guests. So there was like a photographer and just a few like friends and family and other members of the company. There was maybe like 10 or 15 people there that were like people that were invited.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a photographer there as well, didn't we?
Pardon, Steve?
We had a photographer there as well.
Oh, a photographer during dress rehearsal, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I actually found that useful because it made it feel like more like a show than a usual dress rehearsal does. But it's very different when it's people that are there, like a few people that have been invited, rather than a full audience of completely random people.
Yeah.
I imagine that'll be quite
that's
quite stressful.
That's what this was, just random people.
Yep.
It was essentially just a normal show.
Essentially, yeah, it was.
Like,
Great.
if it's just friends or family or people you just invited, sure, they'll know it's a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that, though. Oh, well.
No.
But apart from that, the rest of the production went fine, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. It was 7 shows. 4 evenings, 3 afternoons. Damian was the Dame, again, as per usual.
Lovely.
Typecast at this point.
Night Nurse Nellie. All right?
Yeah, actually, Nurse Nurofen.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah.
you can all
And
call
a
me
headache
Nelly.
or a pain in the ass, whichever one you want to use your Nurofen for.
Bloody hell, though. I went full out for this show. Like, every bit of energy that I got left in my body, I was using it. I was trying to be as active and jumpy around as possible. And even got a chance to sing one of my a certain song that's more of an homage to a friend of the family who passed away. That was quite nice.
All right, that's nice. What was the song?
Man, I feel like a woman. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
Nice.
The first ever panto I've seen was in Chemice, and it was him on stage strutting across the stage to that song.
Ah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's my own personal little
Yes, nice.
little thing to it.
Nice.
That's nice. Yeah, that's good. And Steve, what was your
Oh yeah.
role?
I was the magical, mysterious man in the mirror who comes out of the mirror and does stuff and sort of narrates as well.
Cool.
I had a lot of scenes where I was just on my own on stage saying what was going on, and some of the audiences I had to get them to work a little bit because they were a bit quiet. Some audiences were easier than others, but some was quiet.
Do you feel a little bit awkward on stage when you say, when I come out, you say this thing, and then they don't really respond to that? Like, does that make you feel a bit awkward?
No, I just make a joke and take the piss out of them.
Okay, that's fine.
Is there anybody out there? Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Right, let's try that again. Nice and loud this time.
I mean,
I'm partially deaf, so I want to make sure I hear you in the back, especially.
to be perfectly honest, though, at threat of sounding a bit catty here, but a lot of the cast members were quite quiet, so that wasn't really pumping up the audience. It wasn't really hyping up the audience for a panto.
No.
It was more, it's a show that, coincidentally, the actors talk to us in.
Yeah, panto is a completely different beast, isn't it? It's kind of it's almost more like a gig in a way than a play.
Yeah, like it's where you put this character that's like completely over the top.
Yeah,
and that needs to interact with the audience. It's a difficult.
Yeah.
But once you're used to it, you're used to it.
Yeah.
Do you miss the panto days, James?
A little bit. It's exhausting, as you said, and it's certainly some of those shows that we did have, taken it out, knocked a few years off my life probably, because they can be really intense and stressful and stuff.
Oh,
but I mean, I'd like to go back to it someday. I enjoyed like the couple of ones that I wrote as well. Like I enjoyed writing them because it's quite a freeing thing to you could do pretty much anything you want in a panto. Like if you have some idea for like some almost like a sketch or something, you can find a way of
making it a panto.
You can find a way of shoehorning it in or whatever, or if there's someone wants to do a particular song, you can find a way of working that in.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Or you can find ways of flipping the story on its head and doing things a bit differently. And I always really enjoyed that. And obviously, when you have a really active audience, when you have a really enthusiastic audience in. The energy of that is kind of unparalleled. Really.
Yeah, it is. I quite agree with you.
It's like the energy from the audience. It's almost like a adrenaline rush to yourself on stage, isn't it? Like, like it powers you to be bigger.
Yeah, you like feed off it. It's kind of
you do. Yeah, you do feed off it.
Again, it's kind of like a gig. It's like if the crowd are really responding, then you enjoy it more, you feel it more, and it's just this, So I do miss it a little bit, but also it is also kind of nice to have a bit of a quiet Christmas once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, one of the courtiers working with you in the kitchen scene, he certainly made the most of his scene, didn't he?
Oh, blimey, Trevor. Oh, lovely. He's a lovely chap, but he improvised a lot of that scene, and it just went on and on and on. Like, I was genuinely falling asleep on stage. Like, Trevor's a lovely chap, but I wish he never had improvised that scene.
Why was it improvised? Was it not an actual
scene? He just wanted
scene?
more lines to say, I believe.
Oh, you wanted more lines? Oh, God, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And all his role was just, like, to fill in a few gaps.
I see.
Yeah.
Right.
The coaches.
Yeah. All that scene was just supposed to be, I need some eggs, got some eggs. I need some milk, got some milk.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Flour.
But instead it went to, I need some eggs. Oh, Camilla, baguette, Camilla. Oh, what a nasty little chicken you are.
Not Camilla was the cow. Did I get that wrong?
It's either Camilla the cow or... I don't know. What's the other name then?
Henrietta, was it?
Amaretta, maybe?
Henrietta.
Oh, Henrietta. Oh, yeah, Henrietta the hen, yes. Yeah, now I get it, yeah. But it's just like... It went on and on. He was off stage. He was off stage for a while. The audience couldn't hear him either.
No.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who are you improvising to, Trevor? Yourself.
Evidently.
He just went backstage to talk to you.
It's like you're watching a man have like a some kind of episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I tell you about? I did that play Offa's Dyke a couple of years ago. It was like probably possibly my favourite like theatre thing that I've ever done. It was really like it was an original play and it was in Theatre Clwyd and I did the music and I had a band and I absolutely loved it. But there was this one scene with this character and it was a similar thing, like he has like one scene and that's, and he decided he was going to milk it. And bear in mind, this is like, it's a play. It's like a reasonably kind of straight, fair, kind of serious play. And this guy's playing a shepherd, and he had his dog with him, like his actual dog on stage.
Cool.
And he decided it was going to be his, like, he was going to do his scene, but he was also going to get his dog to do a few tricks.
Okay.
And he was told time and time again, like, don't do that. Don't, and he did it every single show, and and it got longer and longer, and it culminated with him putting a dog. The bloke put a dog biscuit in his mouth, and then like bent down and got the dog to like take it out of his mouth.
Oh,
like he was kissing the dog, and the dog was taking the biscuit. It didn't go down well.
No.
No.
Especially as this guy was the disgraced former mayor of Mould, who
okay.
everyone hates. It was quite a story. It was I could go on, but let's wind our way back to the show. So who did someone write it, or was it a script that you got from somewhere that licensed?
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah, it's one that Karen found on the website. I've forgotten what it's called now, but there was about 4 or 5 different ones, and I think that was one of the better ones out of them all, I think.
Yeah. The better ones out of the bunch that we all read through and decided which one we wanted.
Yeah.
Did we do that, or was that?
No.
That was the previous show.
That was the previous show. Yeah.
Yeah. Ignore what I said then. But
I was going to say I wasn't there for that reading.
What I felt like with this Snow White script, though, I feel like it's been written by at least 5 different writers, because all these scenes don't quite feel connected.
No. I also felt that there was. There was some bits missing. So I added on a spell that my character did as the man in the mirror. 2 rhyming lines. But in the last scene of Act 1, I felt my character gets interrupted by Snow White while he's trying to summon creatures of the forest to keep her company. And then she turns around as he's about to do the spell or whatever. Saying no cats, no dogs, allergic, and then no elephants, blah blah blah. And to me, it felt like she kept interrupting the man in the mirror, my character, as he was about to summon them, but there was no words there or anything down for me to actually summon the creatures of the forest. So I asked Karen, who was directing, if I could add just a couple of lines in as like a spell to make it work, because otherwise I was just stood there waving my staff thing around. It just looked weird.
Yeah. That, and it's that awkwardness, and it was also the fact that like certain things were said by certain characters that didn't fit the previous or next scene.
Yeah.
Like I say, nothing's connected.
No.
Then there's also a few contradictions as well that I noticed. That earlier on in the script, Snow White says something. Later on in the script, it appears to be not the case. Bit confusing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
But it's a bit sort of Pinteresque, but probably not intentional.
Yeah.
And who else was in? I know Lynn was in the cast.
Yeah, Lynn was the evil stepmother.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, Andy was a courtier with Trevor. Will, who's about 6'5", he was one of the dwarfs. Quite an interesting dwarf. So we had basically 7-ish dwarfs.
Yes, ish.
By that I mean 3.
Reminds me of Anvil, Snow White, etc., etc.
Yeah, we had Yvonne as Snow White.
What's her name? Who played the prince?
Oh, Victoria.
Victoria, yeah.
Victoria Gray, yeah, she's new. Joined us to do the panto, because we were looking for someone to play the prince. So she played it principal boy style.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the term, isn't it? Yeah.
And she also done all the makeup as well.
Yes, she did all the makeup as well, yes. So I got absolutely covered in glitter.
Which
every
led to
show.
an which led to a unfortunate joke on my from me on to Steve, which I then had to look it up and why it wasn't funny.
What joke was that?
So I was just like, I didn't know who this person was. I just heard the name referenced a lot.
Yes.
So I said, it's like he looks like Gary Glitter.
Oh dear.
I said, excuse me?
What?
Yeah.
Please don't be calling me that.
Yeah. So afterwards, I was cursing myself. Why on earth didn't I look it up first? This was so awkward.
Yes, it was.
Trying to think who else. I think we got everyone now, haven't we, Steve?
Dorian, who's also new.
Oh yeah, Dorian.
He played, Dorian. You know Dorian, don't you, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Herman. The
henchman.
Henchman, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. The evil stepmother's henchman who
turns good in the end.
Yeah, wasn't a very good henchman anyway. But the character, not Dorian. Dorian played it well.
Yeah, he did. And this was also Lynn's first play, I think. First
panto.
Yeah, I think it was her first panto. Yeah, she enjoyed
brilliant.
It. Yeah, she was very good.
Yeah.
On the last show, Lynn decided to plant Lynn's husband there, Steve.
Oh, yes.
And for me to pick on him. But little did I know, she also told him to pick on me. So, interesting back and forth. What's your name, love? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Sorry, say that again. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'll just call you Steve. Later on, I'll see you in the interval, Steve. I can't wait for you to show me such a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious time. And then after the interval, he didn't give me quite the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious time I thought he would.
You saying you didn't pick on Rob when he was there?
If I would have spotted Rob first, I would have picked on him.
No.
I would have picked on him if I would have seen him.
That's what
I thought you sat right at
yeah,
the back.
no, I was about to say, like, I wasn't right about it. I was sort of middle-ish, but that's why I don't sit at the front, because I'm like, don't dare bring me into anything.
Wow.
Now, Damian, you know where he sits next time.
What?
Well,
okay, I will.
On one of the shows, mine and Steve's friend Tam and her daughter came to watch it.
Yes, they did.
So I spotted her in the front, so I'm like, how do I pick on her naturally as part of the script? So I managed to fit some little nags towards her in the front, but little did I know, Lynn also picked on her too. So I had a good laugh about that. It's always fun picking on friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent me a message saying, if you see me there, don't be a and I'm like, it's my only chance.
Yeah, no, if you send a message like that, you're asking to be picked on, I think.
Yeah. God, what do you expect?
I mean, Panto's your only chance to be a to people, and it looks alright doing it.
Yeah.
Panto's the only excuse you can show how you really feel about people. I'm joking.
Boys and girls, look at this.
You can't go that extreme.
That's going to have to be bleeped out anyways.
Well, okay, yeah. But how like when you are actually performing and you need to pick on someone, how do you choose anyway? Like, because when I came to see you, I forgot what the guy's name was, but you picked on him. Was there like a particular reason why you chose that particular guy, or you just choose people at random?
Pretty much choose at random.
Yeah. Huh.
Or unless someone does catch my eye or something.
Oh, okay.
As in, like, sometimes when you're like speaking to the audience, you can see more people than others because the light's in your face.
Yeah, that's true.
So sometimes you're focusing on that person you can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I suppose you would say you can usually tell the kind of person that's going to be up for it, like someone who's maybe they look a bit cocky, or they're a bit I don't know, they look confident. There are some people that when you go into the audience, they sit there staring straight ahead, like, do not make eye contact. I do not want to be picked on. And as much as you want to pick on those people, you don't usually get a good good response from them. So you don't.
Well, unfortunately, 2 out of 7 shows that happened to me.
Oh no!
I picked on a person. What's your name, love? And he says nothing.
Says nothing.
Oh, I'll call you Silent One.
Yeah,
why didn't he not say anything?
Don't know. So I had to improvise lines. I had to improvise because after the interval, I come on stage and say, I've been treated to a lovely cake off Josh down over there. So I had to improvise saying, well, I tried to see the Silent One, but it didn't work out. So I met this lovely chap named Ricardo. What a body he has! In my mind, that was referencing the Ricardo meme. If you all are aware of the Ricardo meme,
No idea.
No, I feel like that might have gone over the heads of most of the audience.
Yeah, some of the audience had a bit of a chuckle from it.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, anyway, sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, I think it was a really good show.
Thank you, Rob.
And I didn't know, like, Steve, you were on the stage right at the start.
Yes.
I didn't know that was you until you came out of your blanket thing. I didn't know someone was already on stage.
It was a cloak, not a blanket. Silver cloak.
Whatever.
It was representing the mirror. Silver of the mirror.
Whatever it was. I was just going to say, it worked well because I didn't know anybody was actually under there until you came out. I was like, oh,
there you go.
So, yeah, really good.
That was the plan.
Yeah. The sets for that was painted by Beth.
It was indeed.
Who was in one of the previous pantos.
Yes.
I think it was King Arthur show.
Yes.
And she was also in Ladies Down Under.
Yes, she was, yes.
The costumes were done by Jan.
Yes. With some bits done by Trevor's partner, Maria.
Oh, yes.
Andy also helped paint the set as well.
Oh, yes, he did.
Good old Andy.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good old Andy. That's everyone's. That's everyone. Every time Andy's in part of a conversation, oh, good old Andy.
No, not Andy. It's just one of those people, isn't he, that everyone just goes, oh, no, Andy.
We all love Andy. Come on.
Everyone loves Andy. You can't not, can you? He's such a such a lovely bloke. Yeah. So, Doctor Who, what did you think?
Oh, that's immediate. That was like, let's get straight to the point.
Yeah.
I could be bothered trying to find a link there, so I just thought.
Good segue there, James.
No segue to James's sponsors or anything. Nothing. No transitions into this.
No shameful plugs.
Shameful plugs. No.
You can always add
the less we hear about James's plugs, the better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, us having a bit of a joke here right now, for me doing a video editing will be a nice transition. Nice slow fade in. So every second of this, I'm going to milk right now because it'll be brilliant. And James, don't you dare bloody cut it.
Anyway, yes, the Doctor Who Christmas episode. What did we all think of it?
That was all right.
It was all right.
It was all right. Right, don't be too enthusiastic about it, James.
I don't really have anything much to say about it. It was fine. I kind of enjoyed it. It didn't make a big impression on me. It was fine.
Yeah, it was like that for me as well. The only thing that added the negative impression for me was the ending, making Joy the Christmas star.
Yeah, North Star.
Yeah.
The North Star being like ending at Bethlehem or wherever it was.
Yeah. The name's Joy. Joy to the world.
It's just like, why did you have to go into religion like that? Just like poke the bear a little bit.
It's interesting because it's like, it's in all of that of Doctor Who's 60 years or so, they've as far as I can think, they've never touched Christianity at all. Like there's never been that I can remember. No like companion's ever been like, oh, so was Jesus real then? Can we go? They've never, for obvious reasons,
no.
just never touched that.
No, they haven't. No,
rightly so, because it's just it's just not going to be a good thing. People are going to get off. It's just not going to be. So I thought it was kind of weird that they did that. I mean, they didn't. Obviously, they didn't. You know, there was no like, oh, let's go and visit Jesus in the stable or whatever. But it felt a bit weird that they kind of even went as close to it as they did.
Yeah. Like it just felt like unneeded, and it got a massive facepalm from me in the end of it. Like before then, I was enjoying it for a kind of like what felt like a filler episode to me, but
yeah,
you know, I was enjoying it for what it was until that came on, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, it was like you almost got through it without it being too cheesy.
Yeah,
given that it's a Christmas special, usually they pile on the camembert and the brie, you know. But
yeah,
it wasn't too bad until the end, and then it was like, oh, God, okay, yeah. We get it. Like she's the star. It's the star. You could almost see it coming from a few miles off, but you were like, oh, they're not going to do that, are they? Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my impression actually as well. Like they're not going to do that, are they?
Yes, they are. Yeah. I thought the COVID thing was kind of a bit unexpected as well. Don't know what you thought about that.
The COVID thing, remind me.
I don't remember.
The thing about her mum dying during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was quite. I didn't mind that. I thought it was probably a bit close to the bone, but I found it kind of. I found it kind of slightly moving. I don't know whether it was just because it was Christmas and I was, but you know, it was. I thought, yeah, like it was interesting that they did two things that were slightly close to the bone. You know,
yeah,
slightly sensitive topics that they chose to go into.
Mm.
But yeah.
Oh, what was I going to say? What I did like about the episode, though, is the almost time loop that the Doctor put himself in.
Mm.
Like when I saw the trailers for this, I thought it was going to be like two versions of a Doctor where one's good and one's bad, and somehow they're going to collide. But then watching this episode, you know, having the Doctor having like the future version of a Doctor come into the room and give them the answer, and then the like I'd say like a year earlier Doctor has to go around the long way to give himself the answer again.
Mm.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah.
I still don't know how he got the answer.
Yeah, the answer came out of nowhere. That's the whole point of that.
Yeah, I quite like that. It was like, oh, after all that, it's kind of, yeah. I quite liked it.
Yeah, I kind of found that funny because it can, if you think about it logically, it makes sense.
Okay.
The explanation they've said, but you know, you can't apply logic to Doctor Who really. But
no.
If you think about that logically, it does make sense.
It's also very, very much a Stephen Moffat thing where, you know, we'll put there's a very, very little plot anyway, and what plot there is, we'll put to one side to do a 10-minute kind of sitcom soap opera thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually go anywhere, but you know, it's like, I guess that's kind of his style. It's just like, just throw in a hefty portion of. But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, it was okay. I guess
I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like,
Rob, what did you think?
I mean, it's the same. It's the same as you guys, really. Like, it was okay. It wasn't the best Christmas special that we've ever had. There's been better ones in the past, but like it wasn't it wasn't a bad episode, you know. But yeah, kind of the same as you guys. It was okay, you know. It was good. As you guys said, you know, you liked the time loop thing. I did as well. I like stuff like that where like it all connects up and it's all a loop and it's like two of the same person and stuff like that, you know. I like that, but you know, for me, like, there isn't really that much to say about it. Really, like, it was good, you know. Not the best Christmas special ever, as I said. So, you know, I can't really think of much to say about it. Like, you know, I think all of the episodes of this new season so far has been better than what we've had in recent years. So I still think it's heading in the right direction in terms of the overall show, but you know, it still needs a little bit more work to you know to go again to get to its good spot again, I think. But it's working. I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a feeling like they're just trying to play around with what works and what doesn't at the moment.
Yeah,
like all the things that happened from since Shooty's first actual episode. It just feels random in a sense of the trying stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all season 2. I think it's already been filmed, so I don't know how much of anything when it's already been filmed, how much they can change. So maybe they can fine tune some of these things that people are saying, you know, for season 3, etc. But it's hard to do so when it's already been filmed, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the second season had been filmed. I think they've wrapped before the first series came out.
Oh, is it? All right.
Yeah, I think so. I heard something along those lines too, although thereabouts.
But yeah, I agree, Rob. I think it's like the last series was better than the previous era had been, and you know, there were a couple of duds and a couple of, like, 73 yards was really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was probably the best one in quite some time.
Yeah.
Apart from actually Wild Blue Yonder, there's been like 2. It seems like they're doing like 1 per year. That's the kind of weird experimental sort of stuff that I like. So I think, as I said previously, if I get one of those per batch, then I'll be happy. You know? But yeah, it felt a bit more. Had a bit more life. It was a bit more energy and a bit more like it's going somewhere, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll ever be at its peak, you know, like it was before. But I think if done right, it can get quite close to it, I think.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, like when it came back in 2005, and obviously it was, you know, a huge hit.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it had already been a hit in the early 60s when it first started, huge hit. And then it kind of, you know, lulled a little bit, but then kind of in like the early to mid 70s, it kind of hit another huge peak and then kind of died off. And then when they brought it back in 2005, it became a huge hit again. So I think it's just the kind of thing that needs to have like a bit of space and a bit of time, if you know what I mean, for the culture to change sufficiently that you can bring it back and do something new with it and introduce a new generation to it in a slightly new context. And maybe it does kind of, maybe at some point it will get taken off air for some years and then it will come back in some new form and it will be huge again. I think. But certainly having the same like lead writer and the same production crew as nearly 20 years ago isn't particularly conducive to it reinventing itself. But you know,
I just hope that now that that since it's got Daddy Disney's money, they won't do any more episodes like Space Babies.
Yeah, that was pretty awful, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And you'd lead with that. You put that at the first one of the series. It's like that's the one that you put about 2/3 of the way through when you put like, oh god, why would you? Yeah. That was pretty egregious. But at least you got the worst one out of the way at the start.
But I think I'll probably always bring up Space Babies as an episode to point out that it's terrible, unless another one comes by.
Yeah, that was kind of it was pretty awful. Wasn't it?
That episode where they were talking on those chat things, the futuristic one that came close to it. I think, thing. Yeah. For me, I wasn't too fussed about that episode. The majority of it, there was certain aspects of it, that was fine, but majority of it I wasn't too fussed about, to be honest.
Having a neutral opinion, that is not allowed.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's got to be either all good or all bad. It's it's either got to be unequivocal praise or total condemnation. You can't have a nuanced opinion on a piece of media, Robert. You should,
sorry, but that is my opinion on that episode. I'm sorry, you just have to live with it, because it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't good either. But there's certain aspects of it was good. But yeah.
Oh, so it's more good than bad. Oh, so you like Space Babies, do you?
No. The other one I'm talking about.
Oh,
whatever that one was called.
Dot and Bubble.
Was it? Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of found it more weird than bad. So that's not a bad thing, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite one. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, yeah, it's still the ending. The ending for that one is quite daring, though.
Oh yeah,
got to applaud them for being daring.
The ending was okay. Yeah.
I like the ending more than the rest of it. I think.
Yeah.
Good when it finished.
When it finished.
Certainly, that was my favourite part of Space Babies. Was the credits. The credits. Has anyone got any projects coming up?
Not for me necessarily, because I'm taking a whole year off. Well, actually, 3/4 of a year off. Yeah, first time in over 10 years taking a break from theatre.
Wow.
I'll be focusing on my physical and mental health a bit.
You're still going to be doing the sounds? You're not doing it either?
I want to focus on going to the gym.
Oh yeah, I know that. I understand that.
That is going to be my priority now.
Yeah.
So if anyone has any sounds and whatnot, they can email me what sounds they want, and I can get them on the list prepared for Ian.
Yeah. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
Isn't it?
I will do the panto though.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You can't miss your panto.
Sorry, James.
I don't. Yeah, I was just saying I don't have any particular projects lined up. Yeah, just like more focusing on music stuff at the moment. So, but yeah, I'm sure I'll do something or other at some point. Yeah. Steve?
Yeah, what?
Have you got any shows lined up?
Not as yet. There's a meeting on Thursday, which I won't be able to make, but discussing the next thing. So I'll see what comes from that. Really.
Cool. Rob?
Pretty much the same, really, but I've got a few New Year's resolutions that I want to try to achieve.
Ta-ra! And that noise means we've come to the end of another episode.
Is that what you say?
I don't know. Is that all I said?
Line.
If you like what you've heard...
I thought that was... Do I say that right? Oh, right.
Do you? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Cast is podcast.
Yeah. That was the recording. James, I don't like the way you've edited me there. It made me sound like a stuttering idiot.
You are a stuttering idiot.
I can only... I'm not, you know, I can only work with what I've got.
Ask more questions.
And that noise means we've sadly come to the end of another episode.
And if you have enjoyed this
There we go,
episode...
see? I was right.
I generally thought there was more to that.
You know, if you just...
No, it's James goes, and if you like what you heard, it's James's line.
If you just let that play, we would have done, like, the outro.
Yeah, all through my mind.
Yeah. Right, so I'll do that again so we can have a flow. And that noise means we've come to the end of another episode.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, why not check us out on
YouTube? Spotify?
Radio Public. Why not?
Are we on that, are we?
Yeah,
Apparently.
We're on a lot of things, but now we're no longer on Samsung because they've shut down their podcast service.
Ah. Well, don't go looking for us on Samsung then.
And don't forget to check us out on our other channels and websites. And on that note, indeed, on that big note, it's a humorous Happy New Year message from me.
And it's God. It's 9 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. I've not got much insight. It's if life is a river, then Mondays are waterfalls from me.
And it's bye for now from me.
Basic and now Robert's going to copy you.
No, I always say the thing you guys say it's cringy. I've always said that at the end of the episodes, or majority of them since you've started that anyway. But because it's just cringy. But anyway,
So are you.
Thanks. Thanks.
So's your face.
I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you. But yes, as always, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. I don't know when we'll be recording again, but you know, we're still around. We're still, you know, going to be recording these podcast episodes. So yeah. Also, we don't mention that much that we do have an area. I don't know what it's called, but there will be a link in the description where you can post a question or two if you fancy asking something, and we'll answer them on the next episode, of course. But yeah, thank you as always for listening, watching, and goodbye.
It's the end of the world as we know it.